So I actually talked to a law enforcement officer who you guys warranted their gun. Well, was in an incident, and I think he told me he had that thing like within 48 hours. It was right back to work with it. And the interesting part about that was he was shocked, and shocked in that it happened that fast. But he knew about it, but he never thought he'd have to experience it. But he experienced it, and he was overwhelmed by it in a couple of different ways. And so is everybody else. Like, wow. There may be another company out there that's doing it, or a couple other companies out there, but like we talked about Staccato and all the things they're doing. I've heard very good stories about their customer service.
Well, Staccato has a really good culture. And what's amazing, and I don't think it's an accident, most of our sponsored shooters or most of our brand ambassadors also carry Staccato. That was not we didn't sit down and plan that. It's just that the people that Staccato identifies as being a good ambassador for the brand, how to carry the message, are the same people we've identified. Guys like Sal, from San Antonio,
Sal's amazing guy.
Nate and Blair, Jake Rennie. There's just so many folks. The Christian Craig guy, dude, Tulsi Gabbard, right? But there are people that I think embrace and exude that ethos that both of our brands, embody, and it's obvious. I don't think it's a coincidence that we have that many shared good brand ambassadors.
So I wonder, another question would be how do you do that? How do you actually execute that? Who's doing that behind the scenes? Because I think there's a lot of companies that are fearful of putting out such a quality guarantee / warranty. However, to me, it's like a guarantee because it's been proven.
Oh, yeah.
This is what they do. Ask the people. They will tell you this is how this company operates.
We're talking about replacing the gun.
Yeah, I'm talking about who does that behind the scenes. Is there a whole team doing this? Is it you guys that do this? Who gets the email?
We have a team. Usually you'll find out about it, or our sales director will find out about it. And we've got inside sales guys, compliance guys, managers. When it's something like that, you get it in 48 hours because it's all hands on deck. It's, hey, either go build a gun, or we've got racks of guns that we use for demos and T&Es, pulling off the rack,
get in a box.
Yeah, figure out what light we need, and we'll get as close as we can. Might have the exact same can you had before. Usually it's exact, but we try to get the speed's more important than it being identical to what you had. We try to get as close as we can and get it out the door, and everybody, all hands on deck to make that happen and form it and do what we got to do. So
this goes back to being big enough to get stuff done.
That's exactly what I was going. Yeah.
And small enough to still give a shit. Is that when that call comes in, every single person in our organization is aware of it. They feel a personal bit of ownership over the scenario, and things happen. There's no committee. There's no whatever. It's basically hey, this is what we let's get it done.
It's priority number one today. Get that done.
Yeah. It's not like calling the bank. And, because it gets off. You get sent to some offshore.
Press 4 for new gun.
Yeah, you go through the thing. That was my point. And I think a lot of companies, they think about that. And that's what they've done. This is not the most important thing that we do. So we are going to save as much money on this particular part of this process and whatever way we can. And so going back to what you were saying about customer service and where it's gone, it doesn't actually exist at the company anymore. No. They've third-partied it to somebody else.
It's counterintuitive.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive because you think the bigger a company is, the more resources they have to devote to clients.
You would think.
But that is not how it actually works. The bigger the company is, the less important the individual client is to the company. That's just the truth. For us, I still get personal phone calls because someone got the wrong hat. I'm the owner of the company. And
you did that to yourself.
Well, no, I don't.
I'm kidding. That's what you wanted.
Hey, but I don't
People
mind.
do what they want to do.
But you know what? I honestly don't mind because it is true. The bigger the company, the less important you are to that company. If you don't believe me, go have a dispute with PayPal. Right. Go have a dispute with your cell phone company. Go have a dispute with an airline. Go try that if you don't believe me.
I'm angry thinking about it.
We use a kind of a joke. It's a positive thing, like I said, because Mike puts himself out there, but it's kind of a joke around the shop. I talk to Mike. So if you actually go down to our booth right now, we have a Starlink down there because the internet here is still kind of spotty. And the password is I talk to Mike.
But again, dude, customer. Dude, till this day, if I'm walking through I don't think I've been in an airport in the last 5 years where I have not seen a Sons
Like
Liberty hat or a Sons Liberty t-shirt or something, right? And I will go walk all the way across a terminal to like shake that person's hand and be legitimately grateful that they chose to spend their hard-earned money with us, man. I am grateful. I don't take that for granted. And, you know, I want people to have a good experience. And, you know, even sometimes it is expensive to give a shit to that level because, I mean, there's like some deals, you know, you're going to lose money, but win culture, you know, or win reputation or win like kind of that thing. And to me, that's worth it. In the big picture, you know, like when it's all said and done, look back and say, you know, we changed the way the industry works. And I believe we have. It's like I said, more and more people I see adopting that. I know where it kind of started.
What do you mean?
Like adopting like the the replacement programs, adopting that kind of stuff, you know, you're kind of trying to mimic some of that stuff, but I mean, I know where it started.
People have had to kind of copy it to compete, but I mean, going back to the, you know, replacement guns, most of the guys, you know, they'll get it. It's technically a loaner, but if you never get your gun back, you just keep it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'd say probably 99% of the people we send a second gun to just end up, you know, we'll sell them at cost. They end up buying it and just having a second one. You know what I mean?
Or if they get a hold of me, I'm just usually like, keep it back.
Yes. We'll lose your information. It's fine. Just keep it.
Just keep it.
The CFO hates that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So the other thing, you just kind of talking through that, just it's you guys that are handling it. And maybe not every company can do this, but this is some of the things that I've noticed is that they get you guys. When I say you guys, not just you. I met Will this morning for the first time as well as you guys. And I talked to him on the phone at length, probably about 6 weeks ago, and got to know him a little bit better and kind of his energy. Bro, there's a lot of energy in that dude.
Oh, like, dude, man.
I mean, who's that guy's handler? I mean, how do you guys keep that guy?
I guess me, man. But yeah, that's one of those things where like we have to stop him from doing other people's jobs because like if you don't do it like right fucking now, like he'll just go do it himself. And we're like, Will, like, stop, like that's that guy's job.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that, but
he's a hard worker, man.
I felt worked when I was done talking to him. But like, I got the opportunity last year to go to the TTPOA conference, and you talk about end users and talking with people and supporting them at the same time. The expense that goes into it, and the actual ROI that comes out of that at the end. When I showed up there, who was standing in the booth? You guys were in the booth, right? So when people want to talk about the thing, I think more than ever, going back to the customer service thing and that shift that you're seeing, the same shift is this shift is also happening is that people want to know who they're getting their stuff from. Yeah. They want to have that personal relationship because they recognize there isn't one. It doesn't exist in so many places. Again, going back to dealing with your cell phone company or your bank or whatever, those are people you depend on, right? So again, you guys are there and having those conversations and you're investing in the places that allow you to have those conversations.
There's a lot of advice I'm very glad I didn't take because a lot of the advice we got was, more canned, more sterile, more bland, more.
Who's giving you that advice?
Well, idiots.
All the marketing people we fired over the years.
Marketing. Coming back to that word.
But a lot of people that tried to dehumanize the brand or thought that we would be more effective if it was like just canned junk. Now, if you have a marketing budget, perhaps like Daniel Defense, where I think the urinal cakes here at SHOT Show were branded, I know that my room key, from my hotel room says Daniel Defense.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does. And that's awesome. By the way, I respect Marty. I respect Daniel Defense. This isn't like a knock. What I'm saying is that perhaps if you have the kind of resources to just blanket shit, then maybe that's a good technique, right? If it
works for them.
Yeah. If you don't, then I think that it's better to default to authenticity. And then just be you, humanize that level of contact, and then back it up with really good product and support. And all of a sudden you found a couple of guys in the garage, in 13 countries and 50 states, and some pretty neat entities and organizations. And
travels fast.
I'm glad that we stuck to our method.